Hey friends, welcome back to Mustard Seed Homesteading. If you're new to my channel, my name is Megan and I'm so glad that you stopped by because what we're doing is looking at all the green stalks today. We're finally going to go in the back and look at the other two that are somewhat new, and I bought a new color, you guys. I couldn't help myself and I cannot wait to share with you all. So let's get started. Here's one of the green stalks in the backyard. It is actually a 3-tier, and this is the original, so it's the 10-inch deep pockets. And you guys, I'm really loving it right here by my stairs, so I can literally come right out the back door and come snip off some Tulsi holy basil or some chives. I'm actually gonna cut some of that off. We're gonna harvest some of that right now. And I put this beautiful green stalk on a spinner. It has been so nice. And another thing is I have the tube right here, which lets out the excess water into the ground so that the grow bags can hopefully soak up that extra excess water. But let me show you what is growing in here. So we definitely have a lot of Tulsi holy basil. I had to actually trim and cut a lot of it just yesterday because it was just way too wild, and some of it was actually kind of yellow, so I just trimmed it so that you can see some fresh ones could grow in place of that, and we can get some new Tulsi holy basil leaves growing here. But what I did plant is I planted some green beans. So I did a lot of green beans in this one. And then look at, we got one that germinated down here. The reason I love green beans is just they're a quick turnaround plant, meaning that it doesn't take a real long time to germinate, grow, and produce food. And it helps to fix nitrogen back into the soil, depending on certain things. And then here is some more green beans that germinated. Super exciting. That one did. Let me see. That one's already growing right here. And then, oh my gosh, this one too. Wow, you guys, they're all germinating. That's exciting. And then I do have, let's see, what is this one? Oh, this is some Nevada lettuce. We'll see if that even stays. I was just kind of testing that out because it is a heat tolerant lettuce. Some of them didn't do good, I think, in the other green stalk back here. So I'll be happy if that grows. If it doesn't, I do have some starts in the garage that I can always stick in there. And then this one, I think I popped in another green bean because, let me see, what was in here? Yeah, the kale did not do good in here. And then you guys, I think I had a jicama. Well, here's a green bean. Look at all the flowers. That's exciting. Look at all the flower buds. Now, what you see in here, I've had this in other green stalks and I've shared the bamboo sticks. I think they do very well in the green stalks for support, especially for something like bush green beans because they don't get very tall. So I do have some of them throughout the green stalk. And then over here, and I think I did it in the yellow green stalk too, and I'll show that to you in a minute, but this is jicama. So I basically call this a summer root vegetable because it does exceptionally well in the summertime. I will try to insert a photo right now so that you can see what jicama is, but I think it does really well in the summer. I've had really good success growing it, so I figured, you know what, if I can grow it in the green stalk, that would be great because it would have its own pocket and it might even grow larger than the other things that I've grown it in the past. Friends, this garden is just wild back here. There's so much food growing. I'm going to be doing the garden tour next week, or I'm sorry, listen to me, next week, tomorrow. And I just can't get over how amazing this garden is doing. I'm trying to transition from summer to fall, but it's really hard to pull anything out from the summer garden because there's just so much that's still growing. But I'm trying to figure out how to transition smoothly from summer to fall. Here is my beautiful yellow green stalk. You guys, I am just loving this yellow so much, and I'm so happy that I picked this color. So what we did do, if you're wondering why it's on here, If you've seen my other videos, the land slopes all the way down, and this is pretty much the most flattest part of the garden, but unfortunately it's still quite bumpy, and this looked like it was leaning quite a bit. So my hubby built this little stand for it so that it would be straight, or have a straight surface as best as possible, and so that's why it's on there. But I will tell you, it's really nice having it on here because it's much easier on the back for sure. So just to tell you what is growing, so we do have a lot of Tulsi Holy Basil, as you can see, but we do have a lot of green beans, and you can see, look at how well they're doing right here. Now these are not ready for picking. I am going to pick a few from here, but we have basil. I do have quite a bit of jicama growing in here as well. So here, I think this one is a jicama. No, that's a green bean, never mind. And then there's some stuff that hasn't germinated. So like down here, this has not germinated. I'm not really sure why. And then the dandelion up here did not germinate. And you know what, you guys, that's okay, because I do have a lot of starts, and either I can just throw in a green bean, or I can just wait and put in a fall start. So here's the jicama right here. That I know is a jicama. I'm really excited about this, you guys. I really hope that the jicama grows really good in here. And we do have some red Reuben, but most of this is green beans because I wanted something quick while it was still summer. And on the other side, there's actually more jicama here as well as here. And then I do have 2 Vates kale. Now this is actually from seed from Greenstalk. I think there's actually 2, so I'll either try to wiggle that one out and maybe put it in one of the other pockets that didn't germinate anything, or I'll just snip it out. I haven't made up my mind yet, but they're still pretty small, so I'll just leave those alone and figure that out sometime soon. But overall, very happy, and I cannot wait to harvest more green beans out of here with you all. All right, friends, since I'm already up here, I just wanted to quickly show you, here's an aerial view of all the green stalks and how they line up in my driveway from the top. It's kind of nice. I love having all of these lined up. It's just easier for me to see. It's easier for me to manage, and it just works well with this extra space of the driveway that we have. But I thought I'd quickly show these to you. Now, you guys, let's go take a look at all of the green stalks down here. So we're going to start with this green stalk first. This one is my seasonal one. So these 2 are my seasonal, meaning whatever's in season, I'm going to be growing. While these are potatoes, these are our strawberry towers. This is our perennial tower. I did add something at the bottom I'll show you in just a minute, or a few minutes. And then these are my onions that I've devoted for onions. And then surprisingly, there's actually some onions and leeks growing in there. I can't wait to share that with you. And then this one right here, these were actually my garlic, but I am growing things in there, and I'll show you what's growing now over there. And then I do have at the very end my 2 sweet potatoes, so we'll walk through all of them. But I want to show this to you because for a while, you guys, I thought I wasn't really going to get much, and it still actually doesn't look like it, but we are going to harvest a few things. Now, I am going to insert a few small snippets of videos. There was a bunch of tomatoes on here, and I'm not sure if you can see up there. You see those branches, how they look eaten up there? Okay, well, my good friend the hornworm came and paid me a good visit and ate up quite a bit, and actually ate quite a bit of tomatoes. So I had to go ahead and harvest a bunch of tomatoes, but they also were ready to be harvested. But I don't want you guys to miss anything, so I'm going to insert those real quick. All right, let's go ahead now and harvest what is ready to be harvested now while I'm filming. So we do have a plum. Now, a lot of these plum tomatoes were either bush tomatoes or they were, let me see what they were. Oh, Roma bush. They were Roma bush tomatoes because I wanted to grow as many Romas as possible. So let's go ahead and harvest this one. And I think there might be one more tomato. Yep, right here. Here's another one. And then there's actually one down here that I want to harvest as well because it's already showing some color. So I'm just gonna let this ripen in the house. Now I do have more, oh, excuse me, leaf. I do have more tomatoes right here. I have more tomatoes right here. I also have one right here. There's some more up here. There's another one down there. So there's a lot of tomatoes that are growing and then a lot of nice green growth. So I actually had the Greenstalk out here with the rest of them in the driveway. But when we had those really hot days, and I mean, it was not letting up, you guys, I had to move it over there. I kept it hydrated. So it gets sun in that area right here, but not as much as this spot because this is my southwest facing area. So this gets hit with a lot of sun, which is why most of this stuff is here. And so what I did was I put it over there and then all of a sudden I started to see a lot more green growth and I saw some of the plants start to thrive again. So with that being said, I plan to keep this going until, I don't know. I really don't know, depending on what it is that I'm trying to do for fall. I might just keep this going all the way through, I don't know, the first frost. I'm really not sure. But either way, I'm happy that it started to pick up and it started to give me tomatoes. And there's flowers. It's showing a lot of flowers actually. So I'm hoping to get a lot more tomatoes out of this Greenstalk. I do want to share something that's really exciting, you guys. So we have some red cayennes that are growing. You can see there's flowers up there. There's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 red cayennes that are growing. Hopefully you can see that. I'm always fighting for focus because the trees back there want to take all the attention because I was not sure if anything was going to come. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my goodness, there's cayenne. So hopefully we'll be picking those soon together. And there's also this one down here too, the Golden Sunshine. I'm very excited. This has been one of my favorite peppers this year. So this one's still growing. And you guys, we got a pepper to harvest together. So this one is the Italian pepper. I've actually really enjoyed this pepper very much, and this is red enough for me, so we're gonna harvest this together. Hopefully we can get some more. But I've never been super successful. Now I will say the very first time I ever grew peppers in a Greenstalk, which was actually way over there and it didn't even get a bunch of sun, I grew some beautiful bell peppers, but I want to try and grow more peppers in these Greenstalks just because of how much you can grow in such a small space. You know what, you guys? So I've had not the best results with cream sausage tomatoes in the Greenstalks, but this year they're doing really good. We're gonna harvest this together. I have done, that's just the end of the flower. That's not the blossom end rot. But I have them growing in the backyard in bags and they are doing phenomenal. And last year these didn't do the best. And now this year they seem to be doing really good in the Greenstalk. So I'm very, very happy. All right, friends, I'm trying to get in the camera and harvest at the same time. So I did share this before with the Greenstalk. I love to, let me make sure I'm focused. I love to grow dwarf Greek basil in my Greenstalks. It just does very, very well. And this one I thought was a goner, you guys. Let me see if I can zoom down. If you can see that. It is doing so lovely. So we're going to go ahead and harvest that. I love to preserve this in my freeze dryer as much as possible because they're just really easy to throw in anything, honestly. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna harvest some of this. Now, let me ask you, are you guys starting to transition your Greenstalks to fall? Or are you still growing a lot of summer things? Or are you not going to do fall gardening in your green stalks? I'd love to know what you all are doing. Friends, this smells so lovely. Sometimes I wish the TV can have like a smell to it or something. I don't know, it sounds ridiculous, but it smells so good. And I just love how mini size it is. All right, so this next one has my spearmint on top, and I am going to harvest some of that after we're done, but I want to show you what I planted in here, because the last Greenstalk garden tour I told you that I was going to start some seed, and I actually did that very day that we got off, but you can see a lot of the lettuce germinated. So we have, these are heat tolerant lettuces. Now this is old seed, so I'm very grateful to see that they germinated. Now you can see a few of them germinated at once, so I'm not sure if I'm going to snip those out or if I'm going to break them apart and put them somewhere else. I have not made up my mind yet, but I will be doing that this week, because if I don't, then it's not really going to grow that well. Now I might experiment, you guys, and I might actually keep a few in there just to see what it does, if it gives me more lettuce versus if there was only one seedling in the pocket. So I might do that as well. And then I did start a lot of kale. This is where I kind of wish I had the spinner. I'm grateful for the roller, but the spinner doesn't move it, whereas the roller will move the entire thing out of its spot, but that's okay, no big deal. So I did plant a lot of kale in these pockets, so I will be taking some of those out, but you can see a lot of it germinated, and I'm very happy about that. And then we do have a lot of green beans that are growing, beautiful snapdragons that were actually volunteers. I did not start these at all, so I'm happy to see those. And then you guys, look at the, oh my gosh, hold on. You guys, I forgot about this down here. That's arugula. Oh, wow. Let me see. I'm trying to think if I should harvest some. Let me check it out. This one's actually pretty good. I'm gonna harvest this one and this one. I'm actually quite surprised, being that it has been so hot here, that any arugula would even grow. Now this one looks like it's starting to flower. It could be, I'm not sure. This one looks, here, let me show you. Sorry, I'm over here pointing and not looking at the camera. Okay, so this one looks like it's still growing, because you can see that middle part is growing another piece. If you can see that right down there, it's growing another piece. So that one's still growing. And I kind of see that over there. You can see it right here. But do you see how this kind of stems up and there's not really a small little piece growing? It's just, it's got kind of a thicker, harder stem in the middle. That means it's going to flower. But the fact that two of them are doing pretty good, that's very exciting. Look, friends, we got ourselves some arugula. That is super exciting. And here is some more that germinated on this side right here. And then we also have red Russian kale that's growing very beautifully. I'm happy to see this. I actually probably should harvest at least one or two, just so that the other ones, you can see there is some pest damage right here, but that's okay. It's to be expected, especially with it being summertime. So I'm not really overly concerned, because we've got the fall and cooler temps to look forward to come winter time. So very happy with these. All right, so these next two green stalks are strictly for my potatoes, and I'll tell you why I leave them. I'm gonna move this camera. I'll tell you why I strictly keep them for potatoes. It's for the reason, do you see this right here? So I must have accidentally left a potato in here, because I have a few sprouts that are just growing in here. So what I've learned about myself is that I like to designate certain green stalks for major veggies or major things that I like to grow, meaning for instance, potatoes, onions, and garlic, and sweet potatoes. And then of course I have my strawberries and my perennial tower, but I just like it that way for reasons like that. And so I do plan to plant my potato seedlings this coming fall, but because I have a few that are already kind of growing, I'm kind of getting a head start already. And that's what I really like about having some green stalks designated for certain things. Now, I came out here with one of my potato buds because I want to show you what gave me really good success. So these 2 potato towers that I grew just this last spring and I harvested early summerish, I planted store-bought organic potatoes and they literally looked like this. In fact, they were a lot taller than this. And I feel like that is what gave me really good success with growing potatoes, because I grew shy of 20 pounds of potatoes in both of these green stalks, which is the best I've ever done in growing potatoes, period. I've grown potatoes, I don't know if you can see them back, well, I don't know if you can see back there, but I've grown them in bags before. I've had some success. There was one year I grew russets from store-bought potatoes and I did really well. Sorry, sometimes I feel like there's something crawling on me. It is so hot. I'm sure you can tell, you guys, I'm just melting out here. And then sometimes I'm like, if I feel something, I'm like, oh my gosh, is it a bug? And I'm over here talking and you see something crawling on me. So I'm like, that's why you see me checking my neck. Anyways, I'm totally getting sidetracked. But what I did, I had bought some store-bought russet potatoes and I grew them in these kind of longer, larger, circular potato pots, and they did really well. Now, those right now are being used for green beans in the back, but I was so determined to grow potatoes in these green stalks that, it's my hair, that's what it is, sorry guys. Okay, I was so determined to grow potatoes in these green stalks just because of how much you can grow in such a small space, that what I did this year is I let my potatoes sprout really big. I let them sit for a long time. Now, I will tell you, next time I do it, I'm going to write the date that I started or that I put them, you know, in a dark room, and then when I planted it, so that I personally know and I can share with you how long it took me to sprout them and then plant them in the green stalks. I also do think that because of the soil that's very well established in here, so the soil's been in here for a while, I only replenished the top. I also used Fox Farm soil, potting soil this year, which is new for me. So there's a few factors, but I do think this is one of them, and the store-bought potatoes seem to work very well for me too. So I just want to share that with you. I am going to leave this in a dark room for probably another day or two, but I will be planting this, and then like in the next couple days, and then hopefully by the next Greenstalk Garden Tour, you're going to see a lot more sprouts in these. I am on the other side of the green stalks now because I wanted to show you the next 2 green stalks. These are my strawberries. Now, funny thing is, I don't know if my oldest came out here and picked some strawberries, because I had seen some strawberries, you guys, because I thought strawberries were over. Here's one of them. They probably came out here and ate them, which is fine. I mean, that's why I have them here. But I was surprised to see that some strawberries grew, and I already have runners that I'm really not sure what to do with them yet. I originally wanted to put them along the edges back there, along the woods. I thought that would be really fun. I just don't know if I'm going to have the time to do that, but that's what I was hoping to do. But I just wanted to give you an update on the strawberry towers. They're doing really good. I love that I have strawberries in the leaf, and I love that I have strawberries in the original tower as well. And then of course the top has the lemon mint. Now, I'm not going to harvest any of the lemon mint today because there's really not much for me to harvest, but I do want to definitely harvest some of this peppermint real quick. And this next tower that we have is my perennial tower. Now, I will definitely harvest the mojito mint. Absolutely hands down my favorite mint. And I think I'm going to harvest some stinging nettle real quick. But if you're new here, I have yarrow in one whole tier, stinging nettle, marshmallow, and then you guys look what I planted at the bottom. So these are like little Tabasco peppers. I put one in each pocket. So this plant right here, my mother-in-law gave me, and they're like little Tabasco peppers. You can see right, oh, hopefully you can see those. It's a little hard to see because they're so tiny, but they're right there. So the original plant, because I've overwintered pepper plants before, but the original one that she gave me, it died, and I don't know why it didn't come back. But because so many of them fell in the soil, there was a bunch of them that was growing, and I'm like, where am I going to put these? And you know what? I'm like, you know, I'm just gonna put them all around this bottom tier. So we have the pepper plants at the very bottom, and so far it's doing really good. All right, friends, I actually forgot to add this in my Greenstalk garden tour. I'm not really sure why, if I was just trying to hurry up because of the lighting. But these 4 Greenstalks are the ones that I grew my onions in. Now, if you have watched some of my Greenstalk garden tours, let me get back so you can see all 4 of them. I had started leeks, shallots, and a few onions back in January, and I thought they were goners because I got so preoccupied with other starts and getting everything planted that I thought they were just gonna be dead. But they came back and they were beautiful, and I had nowhere to put them, and I figured, you know what? I'm not using these at the moment, so I stuck them in here. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to get any leeks, shallots, or onions. I'm not going to put my hopes on it, but I had the space. I have them in here, and so far, you guys, they're growing. So let me give you a few peeks at what they look like up close. Now, I don't know if some of these are gonna bulb. Well, this is actually a shallot, so maybe I'll get some shallots. At the very least, I might get some leeks, because you can see right here, look at how beautiful that leek is. And I would be happy with anything I got. But I thought I'd show you. Now, if you see a lot of these, so this is Tulsi Holy Basil, because once seed falls and because these Greenstalks are close to each other, the basil just, the Tulsi Holy, look at all that. Oh my goodness, I just realized, look at all that Tulsi Holy Basil. So that actually might be a weed. What is that? Or that might be lemon balm. I don't have to check that out. Anyway, so what you see is Tulsi Holy Basil. But you guys, look at the leeks and the shallots. They're growing really good. So again, I'll just keep you updated every time we have a Greenstalk garden tour. I will definitely show you the progress of these. I may get something, I may not, but like I said, I love to experiment. I love to try, and so I just went ahead and I put them in here. And here is a view of them from the other side. Most of the pockets are planted. I wanted to give you a close-up of this leek. Isn't that beautiful? This one is looking beautiful. So is this one. This one is looking very pretty. That's a shallot though. So like I said, we'll see what happens, but I think it's really neat that these starts were, like I said, they looked like they were dying, and then they came back and we're like, nope, we're here. Go ahead and plant us. So stuck them in here. Hopefully you guys will get something. All right, so before I lose lighting, because I want to show you the new Greenstalk that I bought, I want to quickly give you an update on these 4, which are originally for my garlic. There's nothing to harvest, but I just wanted to show you what's going on with these. So I did plant these. So these 4 right here, I've recently planted with a bunch of green beans. You can see they're all bush green beans, as well as that one over there, because I wanted to have all the Greenstalks growing something until I either use them for the fall or get them ready for garlic and potatoes, or not potatoes, but more like the garlic and the onions. So you can see a lot of stuff has germinated. I'm very happy to see that. I just have to come in there and either, you know, cut out the rest or try to tease some out and put some in other spots. But you can see all the green beans have germinated really nicely. So I'm hoping to harvest a lot of green beans from these Greenstalks. I do have a kale plant. If you remember, I was going to leave a few of them in there to see if they would do better. And so far, you guys, this one is doing really good. And then last but not least, my sweet potatoes. So these don't get harvested until I think October, if I remember. They're doing so good. They're so hands-off. I love the trellis that I bought from Greenstalk where I can vine them around. I just think it looks very pretty. Do have a little bit of yellowing, but I'm not super concerned. And I'm just super excited about these. I cannot wait to harvest these with you all. And this time I'm going to harvest everything all at one time with you guys. All right, friends, before we lose lighting, I'm going to show you what we harvested real quick, and then I cannot wait to share with you the Greenstalk that I bought recently. So to start off, we got ourselves some tomatoes. We have kale in there. We have arugula. We've got a pepper, you guys. Super exciting. Look at that. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Plus all the other stuff that I showed you from the a few days ago that I had to harvest beforehand. And then we got some chives and some green beans down there. All right, then of course, mint. I wouldn't be a Greenstalk garden tour without mint. So we have our spearmint, we have my favorite mojito mint. Then we have some dwarf Greek basil. And then another favorite is my peppermint. It smells so delicious, you guys. And then of course our stinging nettle that stung my hand, but I did get some. So I'm more than likely going to freeze dry this so that I can preserve this. But very excited with the harvest today. All right, friends, so this is the one that I bought. I bought the blueberry. The blue was calling me. I just absolutely love this color. And you know what, you guys, none of my Greenstalks have the weave, and I'm like, you know what, I really need to get one because it's just so beautiful. So what I did was I bought the leaf Greenstalk, which is a 7-tier, and these are 7 inches deep. And I think, you guys, what I might do is put this in, well, I'll definitely put it back there for sure, because I want to keep this all neutral colors on my driveway, and I want to keep the color, like, you know, Greenstalk, like different colors in the back with the garden, just to give it a pop of color back there. But I think what I might do is put garlic in the back, because I had garlic in the beds last year, and while I didn't hate it or anything, I didn't dislike it, I didn't want to use up my beds, but I also wanted to grow garlic back there. So I figured, you know what, I'm going to use this, I think, for garlic back there. So I am so excited, and I absolutely love this color. And of course I got the spin base, because you guys, I love the spin base. It is so much easier to use these Greenstalks with a spin base. I forgot to add with a spin base. It's so much easier to use the Greenstalks with a spin rolling base. I can't even talk. And when they had their sale, you were able to get a pack of trellises, and so I was able to get these. You guys, I really love these a lot. These are one of my new favorites for the Greenstalk, so I'm really happy that I got this. Plus, you guys, before I end the video, I do want to share something that I did buy that I do plan to use for the green beans in some of the Greenstalks. All right, I'm totally losing lighting here, so I'm going to try to be quick. So I did go ahead and buy more 18-inch bamboo sticks, and you've seen these in there before, and I really like these. But you know what? I was brainstorming, and I'm like, wouldn't it be cool to try, I think these are considered skewers. No, these are, well, you could probably use skewers, but these are bamboo like craft sticks. So they're a little bit skinnier, but I said these are less expensive. And I figured, you know what, it's worth trying. If I could get away with using these and these, or this instead of this, it would save me more money in the garden. And so I just wanted to share this with you all, because I plan to use this, and of course I will let you know how it goes. So friends, thanks so much for stopping by, and I always look forward to seeing you guys next time. And I want you to always remember this, friends. I want you to be encouraged, stay encouraged, and always stay inspired. And I'll see y'all next time.